Hello, hello, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. Welcome to your new opportunity to make life exactly how you want it to be for yourself today. Every moment is a walk in that direction, right? Every moment is that opportunity to be who you want to be. If you made a mistake 5 minutes ago, maybe you responded to something in a way you didn't really want to because it's not really in your nature, and you just like, wow, where did that come from? Maybe you're tired, maybe you're dehydrated, who knows what the reasoning is. You could always go back and apologize if an apology is needed. Apologize to yourself for being human and carry on. There is no perfect people ever. And I truly feel that if anyone is sincerely remorseful, then their apology, should you get one, should be considered. God knows their heart. And for your own well-being, you should, in my opinion, forgive. And I say that because when you walk around with a sense of not being able to forgive, having that hurt or that bitterness within your heart, all it does is make you sick. Mentally, physically. It's kind of like a car that needs to have repair work done or maintenance done on it. And if it doesn't get the maintenance it needs, well then, it has to work that much harder, right? So you got to be mindful. Please note, if something comes across in a way that you're interpreting it as being negative or not from a place of love, then please check your interpretations. Just saying. These cards were from a really quick live I did earlier today, having to do with DNA and blood found at some kind of hotel event, some kind of event that had happened. Or maybe there is some kind of hotel event that happened and you will find some blood DNA there. Maybe it was a situation that caused someone to act mindlessly in a zombie stance. Somebody who just really wanted to be part of the group. Someone who just wanted to be like everyone else. Please pray for others, those who do wrong. Pray that they may find their way and that they may take responsibility for their choices and accountability. It's always better when someone takes self-accountability for things than it is to have to force someone to try to take accountability for things. As I said, the Most High knows your heart. The Most High knows all, sees all, witnesses all. And there are those earth angels that relay those informations, their hopes and desires, to the Most High. I honestly don't know how it all works. I just know what the elephant in the room is. God decides all things. And anyone who tries to take those decisions into their own hands for the benefit of themselves when it has to do with somebody else will always be dealt with the Most High. The Most High will always take care of those situations. It's not up to us. We just need to allow things to kind of work out the way they're supposed to in the Most High's eyes. Once you take a step into the direction of what you think should happen, then you're just part of the problem. Bottom of the deck, we've got the gynandromorphic bird. This is a bird that does exist in the world, and it has both male and female genetics and DNA. The outwardly appearance shows both of the characteristics of the male, which is very colorful, and the female, which is not, because it blends in, right? So that's the overall energy of the cards right now. Everything in balance. Male, masculine, feminine, being in a place of balance or being seen as being balanced. Center of the deck, we have come sail away. Maybe someone wants to sail away. Maybe someone is considering sailing away, kicking their feet up. Maybe someone wants to go to the beach, or maybe they need to go to the beach. We have the pelican here, speaking of the beach. Just a word written on here, just in case anyone doesn't know. These cards are in various stages. Some of them just have the word. Some of them are colored in completely. Some are researched. Some are not. These are cards that I created on my own. So once I get some time to do them, I will go ahead and finish them all. The pelican reached a point of almost extinction twice in its lifetimes. The first time was because, one, the fishermen were jealous, I'm going to say, or reactive, or threatened by the fact that the pelican was eating the fish where they were fishing. I mean, the pelicans are smart, right? You go to where they're all netted, and then you go ahead and dive deep, and you get those fish for yourself, and then you swim away, or you fly away, and the fishermen were upset. So they would actually take care of the situation on their own. And then in result of that, they would use their feathers on their chest for things like powder puffs or tobacco bags, or they would use their wings for flutes. Their pouches, they would use the pouches for purses and whatnot. So they were using the bird that they were afraid of and kind of divvying out their resources on those birds, which brought them to a point of extinction. And they miraculously made a comeback, only to be poisoned by the pesticides and whatnot in the environment, to where the eggs could not withstand the pressure of their parent trying to protect them or warm them or incubate them to be able to be birthed. So in this situation, it could be it could have been something was attacking the parents. They tried to do it that way, and when that didn't work, they started to attack the offspring. And just like the pelican, both will come back from the point of almost extinction. Whatever's going on will not win in those cases. We've got dimensions here. This has to do with 3D. There's dimensions, all different levels. I'm sorry if I'm not going to say it correctly, but there's the first dimension, and then it goes all the way up until the 24th dimension. The realms of love are the odd numbers, and the realms of light are the even numbers. The physical matter and space are the even numbers, and the knowledge and understanding of those spaces are the even numbers. So we live in the 3D, right? And so then there's the knowledge and understanding of the third dimension, and that would be labeled the fourth dimension. The fifth dimension is a place of living of the spiritual realms. And then, of course, the sixth dimension would be the knowledge and the understanding of those realms. If we're going to go down below the normal human realm of things, and we're going to go into the negative entities or the dark entities, those would be found on the first and second dimensions. So we have dimensions at play in this situation. People are existing in those different dimensions of things. And of course, the higher you go up in the dimensional levels of things, the higher spiritual knowledge and experience will transpire. We've got disabled. Someone could be a little bit unknowing to these different dimensions and how they work. They could be trying to disable somebody's connection to these different dimensions. Someone could be wanting someone to take a break. We've got take a break, extinction, the dimensions, and now disabled. There could be someone who was trying to harm, whoever was trying to harm the pelican is in a place of being disabled at this point. Maybe they've lost connection to their own dimensional knowledge. We've got a zombie. Just colored that in. I think it was last night. Mindless actions. This came out in our pre-shuff, the one that we just talked about. Someone having mindless actions. Tornadoes. Those mindless actions were causing tornadoes. We've got butter. Adjustments need to be made. Someone was being left out, maybe, of some kind of the decisions or whatnot. I'm going to turn on this other light because it's kind of dark. And of course, the light's not wanting to turn on. There we go. Oh, shucks. I almost knocked over my water. Okay, so we got someone who was left out of the whole scenario. Then we've got the hammer, someone who is just continuously working or hammering away at something. Maybe they wanted someone to continuously to feel like they were left out. We've got makeup here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We've got the Aniston cut, which is the haircut. There was the time when Jennifer Aniston on Friends, she had that haircut, and all of a sudden everyone had the photo and everyone wanted the same haircut. There could be someone here who actually went and did that. I had a coworker who had her hairdresser actually come into my job, and then she showed up on her next shift with the same hair color as mine. I thought that was interesting. And then we have the orchids here. The orchids is something that, you usually will bring as a gift to somebody. It's a pretty standard gift at the office for sure. Do I have any more information on it? No. I also know that the orchid is pollinated by the mosquito. I had no idea until I did the research on that. Wow, we've got a little bit of discombobulated situation going on here. No problem, though. We've got halfway. The sun. Interesting that we have the sun coming out underneath the tornado. Illuminating maybe this zombie-like mentality here. We've got taking a peek. Behind a locked door, someone is taking a peek out. It's kind of like the nosy neighbor. Maybe someone is actually taking a look outside of themselves and seeing that, there is a whole world out there. I'm also hearing, if it's a locked door, let it stay locked. If you feel like you're being left out of something, just let it be. Could have something to do with a child or a child's play. It could have something to do with someone's innocence. Maybe someone was trying to hammer away at somebody's innocence in a situation, or the fact that they are innocent, or being naive. It could be spirit is trying to make it so someone is not as naive because they need to be more aware in order to deal with the everyday earthly battles that we have to go through. We've got oranges here. Vitamin C, apples and oranges if we've got that. We've got next lifetime. Everything you own is in the box to the left. Make orange juice, a new day. Vitamin C. Next lifetime. Squeezing oranges. They can't do it anymore. You got to wait till next lifetime. Everything is packed up and moved on. We've got all the wishing well here. The wishing well has multiple meanings for me. First, when I originally made it, it was the wishing well, the girl at the wishing, or the girl at the well. Usually, in the biblical days, the people would like go to the well in order to sit there and gossip about other people, and they would accuse people of stuff. And it was like, oh, did you hear so and so was cheating and doing adultery with so and so? But it's like they never mentioned the guy who was, or the other party that was participating in it. It was always the third party who probably wasn't even aware that there was a married situation, and they're going to go ahead and talk about that person like they were the one responsible, or they were the one that was what's the word, pursuing the whole situation, when in actuality it was the one who was already in a previous commitment that was pursuing the third party and making it seem like they were single. I can't tell you how many times that happened to me personally, that I would think I'm dating a single person only to find out it's like, you know what, he's got somebody else, or he's got a commitment he's involved in. It's like, are you serious? That is just so ratchet. So I mean, unfortunately but fortunately, I was able to listen to the interactions of the conversations I was having, and I was able to get a feeling or a sense about people, and I was able to determine or have a sense of, this person seems like they have another life outside of being single. I even had the I'm keep saying the benefit of having a follow-up conversation with someone who I had a sense was in an actual kind of commitment of some sort, whether it was like having to take care of a parent or taking care of family members, or if he was actually married or something. And I actually was able to ask this individual, were you married, or were you in a commitment with someone when you were trying to date me or whatnot? And he said, it's funny that you say that, because I've been accused of being married and having kids, a family, and I don't have either of those. Now, just because he said those things to me doesn't actually mean that those are true. So maybe in your situation, it could be the same thing. Maybe you were able to confront or ask directly a question that maybe you were wondering, and someone gave you an answer to it, and maybe it wasn't honest. Maybe you still had that sense that there was still some missing information in that. Maybe that's what's going on here. Maybe this was something like somebody wants to come in and they keep telling you, oh, you know, how much they just love being around you. For the doll also was a situation that I made, because it's like sometimes people want to put you up on a shelf and they just want to have you sitting there, and then they'll come back to you maybe 3 days later and say, oh, you know, I've been missing you so much. Well, it's like, if you really missed me, you would have said hello. It takes 2 seconds just to say hi. It doesn't take that much time, especially when there's text involved. You know what I mean? So it's like those kind of individuals, they kind of just put you up on a shelf, and then they come back and they think, oh, let's just pick up where things left off. I mean, granted, yes, people do get busy. People do get, you know, involved in what they're doing, and they mean to reach out or whatever. But I mean, you go to the restroom, right? I mean, every day, if you're on a regular fiber diet or something, you should be using the restroom where you're sitting down, and you can take a second to say, hey, I'm thinking of you, or whatever. So nobody is really truly that busy that they couldn't reach out if they had wanted to. It's more of like a convenience. Oh, I want to play with this person now. I want to, you know. So I'm just saying that will just show their level of interest in you, I guess, and their level of action behind their words. So maybe that's important for someone to kind of actually take a look at that. Maybe that wasn't something that someone was doing before, but they need to. The wishing well, there's no handle on this wishing well, so it's like there's something broken emotionally here. You can't really get that bucket down well if you don't have a handle. It's going to make it really tricky, really, really hard. So maybe somebody wanted to come in and offer a relationship of some sort, and they don't understand why you're not trying to pick them up on that offer. And in your mind, you're thinking, hey, next lifetime, you know, something doesn't feel right. It doesn't seem right. Whatnot. And that's the day in and day out. We've got the hamster wheel here. Just doing the same thing day in and day out. And maybe someone's trying to say otherwise, that you're not doing all those things. We got the parentheses. This is a side conversation. More information to the point that's trying to be made. As we were just talking about, there's some kind of missing information here, and it's coming in under the sun. So that's something that's being shown. It's out in full force. You can't deny it. It's the crazy making the chaos. It's also the ADD. I have ADD. I've had it since they didn't even know that it needed a name. So it could also be that kind of thought process, being distracted. Maybe somebody wanted someone distracted by doing their everyday in and out, trying to keep someone super busy so they couldn't do the things that maybe they needed to do in order to find love. Maybe they thought that if they kept this person so distracted with the everyday things, like maybe trying to earn a living or try to get enough money to pay rent or car notes or utilities for that matter, that they wouldn't be able to find love. They would make love kind of like a side note, like, I can't do it right now. We've got the number 1 here, maybe loving oneself, distracting them from doing that. Oh, one significant other. We've got the lobster. I don't know if you're a Friends person. This is the second time we're coming up with the Friends analogy, though, with the whole Jennifer Aniston, and then now we've got the lobster. Oh, he's your lobster. Lobsters are a place of vulnerability, right? When they lose their shell because they're growing bigger. I always feel bad for the lobsters that are super hit. I mean, I feel bad for all the lobsters. But when you see one that is just huge, and you're like, wow, that lobster like really kept itself out from being caught all that time, and now here it is. I mean, maybe thankfully the lobster might be out at the end of its lifespan, and maybe that's, it works out that way, I guess. But I always feel bad I feel bad for all animals, and yes, I do eat meat, and I still feel bad for them, and I don't know, folks. Some people try to say, animals have the feelings and the spirit and everything else. I agree with that 100%. And it makes me feel even worse that I do eat meat. But plants do also. There's scientific studies that have said that plants do feel pain. Like even when you cut the grass, that smell that you smell, that is it's crying. That is it's sending their pheromones out into the air in order to alert the other plants that this is happening. So, I mean, when you think about things that way, it's like just because someone doesn't eat meat, it doesn't put them on a higher level of things because they're not harming animals. Well, you're harming plants too. So it just goes to show that there is, I mean, what do? You get to a point where maybe you just don't eat at all. Maybe you fast all the time. Maybe you fast with oranges. I don't know. Maybe someone needs to do a fast. A juice cleanse or something. Do it with your doctor, please. I'm not a doctor. And I think the only reason why I'm even bringing that up, I mean, yes, lobsters feel it too, is just for the fact it's like no one is better than anyone else just because of the decisions that you try to make or don't make. It doesn't make you better. There's something that can be said in every decision that is made. We've got divide. Maybe someone's trying to keep you away from your other half or the person that you're supposed to be with or meant to be with. That one lobster. We've got greater than. The divide is greater than what? The pest. Someone is super annoyed. Traditions. Annoyed with traditions. Maybe your other half is being annoyed by the traditions, the rodeo, the distractions, the capturing, the Western, trying to I think I said capture already. These boots were made for walking. That's just what they'll do. If it isn't love, it isn't worth it. We've got the peach. The peach is like the whole booty thing for me. The bench. Another taking a break card, but it also could be the judicial system. Maybe someone was purposely trying to date someone who was in the judicial system. I had an ex that did that. Or maybe someone's significant other that is on this horizon is on the bench of some sort. But I did have an ex that would purposely date people in certain job roles in order to push their own agenda, i.e. social services, i.e. apartment managers. i.e. members of people who are in some kind of groups. I didn't find that out until years later. i.e. people who work at probably credit bureaus or banks or whatnot. It's alleged. We've got an umbrella here. CEOs, top of the companies, being covered or protected from the elements. Microphone, that's all going to come out. Someone's going to notify, someone's going to be center stage, someone is going to belt it out for all to see and hear. Someone has something to say. 4 rows, we're in our 5th row. Somebody's got a fan here. I'm your biggest fan. Maybe this fan is like annoying somebody. Chemistry, doing experiments on somebody. Or there could be literally just some kind of love chemistry like you have in a relationship or you have when you like someone. Hey folks, if somebody doesn't feel the chemistry, granted it can grow if you're around the person and you guys work on your friendship and you get to know each other. Yes, your chemistry can grow that way. Some say that's probably the better way to do it than to go through that whole chemical reaction of meeting each other and be like, oh my gosh, I really like this person. I mean, vice versa, just like we were talking about the meat and the plants and the whatever. I mean, there's, you know what I mean? Who's to say? I mean, so many things are coming to the surface now. It's like things that we were told aren't true are true. Things that we were told were true are not true. So it's like you have to go with your own discernment. What feels right to you. If something doesn't make sense, there's probably a reason why it doesn't make sense. Is it concocted? Is it an experiment? Is someone just trying to see what will happen if? Is someone escalating situations, blowing BS around? Exaggerating a song or dance? Playing the old violin? Wah, 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 wah. This person did something to me. This person is this kind of person. They didn't care. Again, my own personal situation, I had someone who would like literally anything I did, there was a problem with it. i.e. going along with the courts establishing a 10-year restraining order against that individual. I went along with it. They assigned it to me. I figured they knew what was best, and so I went ahead and I accepted the restraining order. I still don't know if I was able to say, no, I don't want a restraining order when it was done in a court of law, when there was like some kind of court case about it. But I accepted the restraining order because 1, peace of mind. Number 2, psychologically, I thought the courts knew what they were doing, or I believed the courts knew what they were doing in the situation. And 3, just the peace of mind that my kids deserve to have peace away from an individual that caused chaos. Because what I experienced in the situations that had happened, it was definite chaos, and that was not something I wanted to have to go through again. It wasn't fair. And it's not okay. Bringing chaos into somebody else's life just because of whatever story you're telling yourself or the story or things that you want to believe about yourself in the situation. Anything that causes chaos is not fair. And it doesn't have to go down like that. You can communicate, you can talk it through, you could work out through the details. I tried to get third parties involved. Counseling, supervised visits. Let's talk it through. No. And this was even after the fact. I begged the courts to have him get counseling. I don't know if it happened. I have no idea. But someone could be singing the song dance about, so-and-so did this to me, so-and-so did that to me. Someone with deep waves. Maybe they are committed to the stories that they tell themselves and others. It's deep psychological, emotional. I don't know if you know, but people who work on having those deep waves in their hair, where it just looks like it just goes up and down, up and down, up and down, they have to brush it with a special brush in a certain direction, and they have to take care of it like on a continual basis during the day. So this is someone that continually tells a story throughout the day to whomever will listen about the experiences that they went through. And here I am thinking, yes, that's what you're doing right now. Yes, I'm going to share what happened because I want other people to understand what happens. No, they don't change unless they go make a concentrated effort in order to change their own ways or their demeanor or their behaviors or their thought processes or the traditions and way that they do things. Unless they go and do that for themselves, they will never change. They will not ever do it for another individual. It does not matter how much you love them. When someone is stuck in their ways, they're stuck in their ways. And the thing is that my ex even asked me, do you think when people get to a certain age that they're just stuck in their ways? This is our first date. And I said, no, I think that people who actually want to change, they can change if they want to. They just have to do the work. So I don't know, I probably should have heard that as a red flag, but I didn't. I just assumed they were talking about someone else in some other kind of situation that maybe they were observing. I didn't know they were talking about themselves. And this is when this person was in their early 20s. Deep waves, deep emotional trauma, conflict, issue, something that needs everyday maintenance. Making a deal with the devil. Because of those emotional issues, because of those things that they were questioning but not doing any action about, they made a deal with the devil. They chose to allow the harm and the hurt and the trauma and everything else that they experienced in life rule their world and their decisions going forward. I often used to think that this person that I was dealing with, and I've said this in previous stories, I used to why are you acting like this? Are you having some kind of premonition? You're making decisions now based on future situations that you're assuming that are happening? Because I was always often confused, why is this individual acting like this? Why is this individual accusing me of things that are just not real, not true? They were in a state of delusion, I would imagine. I don't know. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a therapist. It's just the question I've asked. And free speech allows me to make those questions. If it helps somebody else, again, they will not change unless they want to go and change for themselves. They will not change for anyone else. Doesn't matter how much you love them. We've got a UFO here, someone being picked up. We've got a taco here. It could be a female. Maybe they wanted a female to get picked up. Could have something to do with Sweden, Norway, because they eat the most tacos, even though the taco originated in Mexico. It could be something that's folded in the half. It's folded, it's in the middle of something because we do have the halfway there. Maybe someone is halfway picked up. Something is halfway disclosed or uncovered. California and Texas are the most known, are most known for tacos. 86% of the U.S. is the largest market. Taco also stands for prayer, thanksgiving, adoration, confession, praying for others, and for your own self-concerns. So prayer could be very much needed in this situation. The center card is the number one, first, foremost, self, loving self. Loving self and those who are vulnerable. The innocent. Could have something to do with Georgia. I'm thinking with the peach. Or any of the states or countries that gravitate towards the rodeo as their traditions. Or it could be rodeo, depending on how you pronounce the word. Maybe someone needs to be a better judge in their own decisions and in their own discernment. Vitamin C, the oranges with the vitality, being an observer of in love. Breaking up, maybe disconnecting oneself from the gossip, just living your everyday. Don't be distracted by the things that you have to do in every day. Still have your center and your focus based on love, regardless of what happens or transpires. That's what's most important. We've got the taco here with the mindless zombie. There could be some female who is doing mindless activities or decisions. With the fan and what is this in the corner? The orchid. A gift? Circulating a gift. It also could be from wherever, what countries are known for orchids. Hammering away at the way that they see themselves. Just be mindful. We've got the elephant in the room coming up. The elephant never forgets. But on the same regard, the elephant still thinks it's attached to a chair if it's got that the chain around its foot. I should do a chain card. Rose-colored glasses. Always remember, always come back to that stance of your rose-colored lenses. Regardless of what's going on in life, you could always return to that. And I do have to say, I've seen the same, I saw 3 different cars with the same color pink. What was it, yesterday? I found it very interesting, and now here it's coming out again. We've got the pink, the pink, the pink. Recidivism is the rate of which somebody continues to make the same mistakes, and they're going to end up coming back to being incarcerated. So because we had the UFO, and I said someone's getting picked up, they could be being picked up and returned to being incarcerated. Someone's juggling something, the light. The light is the only thing that can disperse the darkness, right? When you turn that light on, the darkness flees. Stay in a place of light. Stay in a place of love. Stay in a place of seeing things as being more positive than negative. I know it's hard sometimes. That's why we got the juggling thing. Sometimes you got to just juggle through the day. And you got to just see the positive and thing. That's why I always say, make it a great day. There's something in every single day that you can make it a great day. That will be your life preserver. Someone's throwing a line. Someone is trying to save somebody. That's what will save you, that light. The light is the only thing that can save anybody, to be quite honest. Making a deal with the devil, yeah, the devil will make those promises. Oh yeah, I can save you. I'll give you this and this and this and this. And then you never get it. If someone wants to give you money or something to do a certain thing that just seems, don't do it. Money goes away so fast. If you're doing something against your own moral code, your own self-decency or human decency, if it creates chaos or problems or pain for another individual, you're selling yourself. You're selling your soul. If it makes you sink when you think about it, if like you agree to it and now your whole body sinks like, oh, what did I do? You've just made a deal with the devil. Maybe something is going to come to light that someone was thrown a lifeline and it was like a choice between, all out just, this is something that, this is something that will actually save you in the situation. I know things look bad. Things are really hard and things are just difficult to deal with. And here we're going to throw you a lifeline. And it's like the whole time that person was probably the cause of the whole detriments in the first place. But let me come in and let me save the day. Here you go. It's like, really, if you would have just done the work and you would have been just a proper individual in the very beginning, we could have had a dream relationship. But no, you wanted to create chaos, play games, and live from your shadow self that you refuse to even want to try to work on and heal. Now you want to come in like you're just this great person, saving the day when you know you're only doing it because you want to have the upper hand in something that you created. If you accept the agreement, if you take whatever they're offering, you're making a deal with the devil. And I've said this before in a previous story. I had someone I met on a dating platform, quote unquote. And the someone is quote unquote, because I swear it was either a friend of or it was the person themselves underneath a different account name or whatnot. Because we never met face to face, and that makes it even more weird. This person said, "Hey, my mom passed away, and this was, I'm going to say, during a time when I found out that my ex's mom passed away, and they said I have access to their bank account, and but for some reason I'm not able to withdraw all the funds, and so because I have access to the account, if I send you $500 and you can send me 350 of it, you can keep 150 every time I send you a withdrawal. Can you do this for me?" And I'm like thinking $150 would be great. An extra $150 every time, that would be wonderful. It's so needed. But on the other hand, just like you're thinking, if you're not able to withdraw the funds like you want to withdraw the funds, then there's probably a reason for that. And I have too much respect for the rules. Mind you, my nickname at my previous job was the rule follower. They said it like it was a bad thing. And then now I don't work there anymore because of a leave of absence, and they never asked me to come back. So that's a red flag. But anywho, if somebody is trying to do a workaround to something that is set in place for a certain reason, then it's like you need to respect that. Yeah, it seems like, $150, or even let's just say if it was $15,000 and you just have to give me 10 and you're getting $5,000 back every month just for letting them use your bank account. There's something wrong with that scenario, folks. All money is not good money. Be leery, be mindful. If it seems too good to be true, it probably is. And I guarantee you'll get in trouble for it. Because someone else didn't want to follow the rules and they drug you in and they used you. It's not worth it. We've got camp here. All it's going to do is pull you into their camp. It's going to pull you into their world, and it's going to pull you into some kind of situations that you did not want to be a part of. All because you were naive and you were like, "Oh, this is great. I get an extra." No, you're not. Don't do it. Just don't do it. If you didn't earn the money yourself and go to a job and work the money for yourself, then it's not money that you should have. Unless, of course, it came from like some kind of inheritance or some kind of lotto winning or something. And I'm not saying go play lotto or do the gambling thing, because anything can be addicting. I'm not saying that. But if you didn't win it or whatever, by whatever means, just saying. But on the other hand, you guys, each their own. If you want to do that, do it. I saw a guy the other day and he was drinking brown liquor out in the open. And I was like wanting to go tell him, he was on the phone. And he was guzzling it down like it was Gatorade. And I wanted to tell him, you know, if you just work on whatever it is that you're trying to avoid, then it's a lot easier to deal with than whatever it is you're going to create by drinking on it. It's just going to make it worse. Right? Stay in the love. Stay in the honest. Stay in the straightforward. Stay in the things are understandable and easily explained. No question, no comments, no nothing. Stay in a place of light. I have no idea what that thing is. That's weird. We've got someone is stuck. Entertaining. Step. Could be a step brother, step sister, step family. Maybe someone needs to take a step towards making an apology for making someone stuck because they found it entertaining. My advice is just accept the apology. Don't talk about it. Don't carry on about it. What you've done is between you and the Most High. Whoever it was done to is just the tool that the Most High used in order for this person to make the decision that they needed to make, whether it was on the good side or the bad side of things. That's what it means when people don't take it personally. Trust me, I used to take it personally. I was so sad. How could they do this to me? I'm such a nice person. I'm such a loving, caring person. Well, that's why the Most High used you, because the Most High knows that. The Most High knows you can handle it. And the Most High needed to know whether this other person's heart was where it was. And it very bluntly told the Most High exactly where their heart was. Gave them the information that they needed. I'm hearing it is or it isn't. You are or you aren't. Some people claim to be a certain way, but their actions are going to totally tell you differently. Just like we were talking about. It takes 2 seconds to text someone when you're sitting on the potty. Everyone does it. We've got box upside down. Someone was trying to put someone in a box, but they're no longer in a box. They wanted to put this person in a spiritual place. Maybe this person was supposed to be somebody's significant other, but they're not. Their other half, their number one, they're side by side. They're not that person. Yeah, they're spiritual mate. We've got T, first, middle, or last, or a word that starts with T. We've got C, first, middle, or last, or a word that starts with C. C and T. CT. Maybe someone needs a CT scan. Maybe something happened during a CT scan. And I know it happened to me. My gosh. The number of things that I can talk about and the number of things that have happened, I'm just like, okay, get the violin. It's not an exaggerated situation, though, folks. These are things that literally have happened. Things could be happening on an app or have to do with an app. I know that oftentimes when I will do an app search or a Google search on a location, it will show directions from a place that I'm not even at. It will be like 4 hours away from where I am, or another country. It will start directions from there. Or if I'm trying to Google a place to go to because I want to pick up some food, there'll be certain individuals there already before I get there. And it's not that it's happening one time, it's happening consistently, days in a row, morning and at night. It's taking a toll on the individuals that are doing it at this point. They want it to take a toll on somebody else that they're doing it to. They wanted to inflict fear on these people. Maybe they're in fear, but whoever they're trying to take the toll out on, that they're not in fear. They could care less. Spin your wheels. Go ahead. Do what you want to do. It doesn't make a difference. Because whoever is doing it to, they're in a place of love and light. They're in a place of just innocence. They're in a place of just carrying on. Spin your wheels. Make a deal with the devil. Keep burying yourself further and further into those deep waves. The deeper you go, the harder it's going to be to get out. And all it's going to do is going to end you back in prison. No apology will be able to save you from prison. If that's what the judicial system wants for you, that's what's going to happen. And I didn't mean to, I'm laughing just because it's just so silly, because it doesn't have to be that way. Makes me uncomfortable. I don't want anyone to go to prison. I don't want anyone to have to go get incarcerated. I don't even want people to have to deal with the karma that they have to deal with in order to making a bad decision. I feel bad for people. But I also know it's the way people learn their lessons. I learn from other people's behaviors. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want any part of it. I just want to live in peace. I just wish other people would have that same mentality. It's like, watch what happens to other people and just don't get yourself involved. It's your ego telling you that you think that you're going to get away with something when you're not. There is nobody above the law, especially spiritual law. There's nobody above it. I don't know why that makes me sad. I just wish people really understood. Stop harming yourself by harming other people. If you're the type that harms other people, ask yourself, why are you doing that? Ask yourself, what is it within yourself that wants to do that to other people? Why do you do that? You're harming yourself. And there's no reason why anyone deserves to be treated poorly. Even when you're doing it to yourself, you don't deserve it. Just be done with it already. Just ask yourself why. Monster, drama, roofie, cry. Community. The whole community is compromised because someone was crying about something. They roofied somebody and they were just a monster making the drama. Monsters can be repaired. They don't have to be a monster. Usually people who are considered monsters are really just misunderstood. They're just hurting and they're in pain. I can't speak for all monsters because, there are certain situations where it's probably more clinical and it's probably more spiritual than I even have any understanding about. Just because I say it doesn't mean it's obsolete, you know what I mean? It doesn't mean that it's concrete or it's just like anybody else's words that they use. Do your own research, use your own discernment, come up with your own theories and ideas about stuff. As long as you're not harming yourself or harming anybody else, you probably have a point, right? With that being said, folks, I'm going to go ahead and call it. I want to really appreciate the fact that you're even here. I hope this was helpful to you. Just stay in a place of peace, love, and care. With that being said, make it a great day.